These 5 teams have completely messed up the season that just ended. Granted, some have been on the downward trend for longer than others, but all 5 ended up in the same point: relegation. In this video, we are going to find out each of the club's story and try to turn their sorrow into a reason for you to pick them up for management in your next Football Manager save. In order to properly tell this story, we'll be using a modified database for Football Manager 2022, which you can find on the Passion for FM website. Dynamo is a team playing in the Romanian football pyramid. Founded in 1948, the club has spent its entire history in the First League until now. The season 2020-2023 will mark a turning point in the club's history. This will be the first season that they play as a relegated club. They have lost the relegation playoff 3-1 on aggregate to Universitatea Cluj. Since it was taken over by a Romanian businessman in 2013, the club filed for insolvency and started the poor results. Most notably, a club that has won 18 Romanian league titles did not manage to qualify for the championship playoff on 4 occasions, 2017-2018 and 2020-2021. The supporters have tried to take the matters into their own hands and they even hold 20% ownership of the club, but the results did not improve. In 2020, the owner has sold the club to a Spanish company, and in June 2021, the club filed for insolvency for the second time in 7 years. If we look at the squad, most of the players have no business playing for a team fighting to avoid relegation. Steliano Filip was regarded as a great youngster a couple years ago, Alexandru Răuță is a cultured First League player, Cosmin Matei and Răzvan Grădinaru were also regarded as good youngsters in the past, and Gabriel Toje was a star of the Romanian First Division 10 years ago. This means that the club finances are a mess, right? Wrong. 3 to 6 million euros in the red and no debt is not the end of the world. I think that the problem with Dynamo is the club atmosphere overall and the friction that money problems cause the long term. I firmly believe that with good managerial decision and good player recruitment, this club can reach again the heights that were so familiar to them. For you, this is a chance to try your hand and rescue a club from becoming a fallen giant. The pinnacle of financial mismanagement, poor decision-making, and ignoring your own supporters' voice. In this database, the club is part of the French 3rd Division, but following a club statement sent to the French football regulators that they will follow a robust financial plan, Bordeaux have been cleared to play in the French 2nd Division. The club has a 33 million euros debt remaining to be paid, and the projection sees them in the red by 88 million euros in the next 3 years. In the game, the squad has not been updated, so you could manage a team having players like Benoit Costil, Marcelu, Jimmy Briand or Anel Ahmedhodzic on loan. In real life, this is the squad that has started the current season and the squad that should be available in FM23. The problem started for Bordeaux in July 2018 when the new owner took over the club. In August 2018, Gaetan Laborde was sold to Montpellier without his knowledge or consent, which prompted the then manager Gustavo Poyet to label the situation at the club as embarrassing. Gustavo Poyet was suspended by the club following this statement, and in September 2018, Ricardo Gomes has been appointed as general manager of the club due to his lack of coaching badges. Bordeaux finished last in the league and got relegated after playing for the past 30 years in Liga. The sad part is that the last time that the club was relegated was due to financial difficulties as well. The only good part for Bordeaux is that they have managed to escape an administrative relegation to the 3rd Division. But the hard rebuild starts now. I think you have guessed by now that financial problems and reckless owners are a major part of the problem for the clubs in this video. Now, the name of this team will not be spoken due to a certain group of letters in the wording that, if strung together, form a censored word. But we can refer to them as the Iron or the Iron Man. The first thing you are prompted with when starting a new save with them is a transfer embargo forced onto the club until 31st of December 2021. This is not the source of the club's problems, but it certainly adds a level of difficulty on this save. Relegated to the Vanarama National League due to their sporting performance, the club's problems started with financial mismanagement and poor decision-making. The chairman resigned in March 2022, and the Iron had its spell of 72 years in the Football League ended with a crushing defeat against Bristol Rovers, 7-0 on the last day of the season. The club's financial situation is not a very bad one, but for a team with limited resources, every penny counts. At least no debt hangs over. The squad is a decent one, worthy more of the National League than the Football League, but with good loan recruitment, immediate promotion should be possible. I would dare to say that in a sale with the Iron, the first 3 seasons are crucial. They can make or break this club completely. A rich history nationally and internationally, 18 league titles, a great core of supporters, and relegation in 2022. The situation of AS Santetia may make people scratch their heads with good reason. This is a club that should have easily finished mid-table in Liga and should have had no issues in securing revenue long term. There isn't one reason that would pinpoint to their most recent disappointment. The club have had problems and in April 2021 has been put on sale by the board of directors, but looking at the finances, the squad shouldn't have been rocked so hard. I tend to believe that the problem at Santetia comes more from poor footballing management, which is an area that you could solve if you choose to start a save with them. The squad is regarded above League 2 standard and the money will not be depleted. So, AS Santetia may represent a good platform to start a save in Football Manager and to try your hand at the game. A club that participated in the Europa League and reached the quarter-final stage, being eliminated by Manchester United as recent as 2020, has been relegated to the Spanish second division. Looking at their finances, we can immediately see a negative 52 million euros hangover within the next 3 years in case nothing changes. Of course, the squad present in the database will list players like Maxim Gonalons, Sergio Escudero, Darwin Machis, or even Carlos Bacca, but these players will no longer be part of the team in FM23. So, this would be your chance to try your hand at promotion with the current game squad. However, unless the situation changes, Matias Areso and Jose Callejon should still be with the club in the new season, so immediate promotion should be an option. Granada is a curious case, but it did show that with good player recruitment and smart decision making, it can reach heights it never did before. As mentioned earlier, most of the clubs have their demise stemming from financial turmoil and mismanagement, but their downward spiral has just started to pick up speed. This is your chance to help any of these 5 teams to avoid becoming a fallen giant. And while you do that, you may want to keep an eye on the most recent transfers that happened in the world of football. I am Alex and I thank you for watching today's video. As always, dear audience, stay safe, relax and have fun.